Hey, what's up, everybody? It's B. It's Sunday, not Monday. It's tomorrow, and I'm gonna do a little demo today. Something that probably should be on my cooking channel, but I'm kind of abandoning that until after culinary school. Anyway, week before last, I answered a tag, and somebody asked me what my favorite food was, and I said it was scallops. Love scallops. And several people asked me to do a little demo on how I cook scallops, so here we go. This is a scallop, all right? It's a little mussel. It grows inside let me get a different one. It grows in a shell. If you've ever seen Shell gas stations, the shell that they have is a scallop shell, okay? This is it. This is a little guy. When you get these at the store, they're about $10 a pound, depending on what time of year you get them in. You want them about the size of a silver dollar. They shouldn't smell really fishy. They have a distinct smell. Now, don't get confused, but they shouldn't smell really, really, really fishy. Sometimes they'll have this little guy on the end here. This is called a foot. It's separate from the rest of the scallop, and it will really cook really fast, get really tough, and kind of ruin your scallop experience. So you can just pull that off. Not all of them will have it. Some of them will. Some of them won't. When you prepare your scallops, and we'll probably cut away and talk about that, you want to make sure that you rinse them quickly under cold water. You don't want them sitting under water because they'll swell and absorb water like a sponge, and then when you put them in the pan, they'll steam. We're going to pat them dry, and I'll show you how to season them, and then we will put them in the pan. Alright, so here's our scallops. We took each one, and we kind of dried it. Okay, make sure it's nice and dry. We don't want a lot of water because what's going to happen is that water turns into steam, and then you get steamed scallops, and then they get really rubbery and really tough as opposed to sauteed scallops. Now we're going to put salt and pepper on these guys, right? And this seems like a whole lot of salt. It's really not. The second this hits the pan, we're going to lose a good percentage of it, so don't be scared to season them up pretty good. We're only going to season one side. We're going to put them in the pan and then season the other side in the pan, so let's get started on that. Alright, 2 rules when you're cooking scallops. Rule number 1, use a non-stick skillet. You will have a disaster if you cook this in a regular skillet. Rule number 2, the thing has got to be super, super, super hot. I mean, piping hot, like you wouldn't dare cook anything in it because the scallops have to cook very, very quickly to get the color that you want. Now we're going to put some fat in here. You can use any kind of oil you want to. It doesn't take a whole lot. We are in a non-stick skillet, so a tablespoon or so. And we want to work this around just like any other saute we would do. And this guy's got to be hot, so we're going to make sure we give it just an extra second. Make sure we have a nice hot fire. Now, what I like to do, depending on how many scallops I cook, is I'll start at the top and I'll work my way around. And what you'll find is by the time you get all the way around, it's just about time to flip them over. You're only going to put them in here for about 45 seconds to a minute per side max. So let me move the camera so you can see what's going on here without getting you dizzy. And alright, here we go. And that sizzle's the sound that we want. Lay them in. Make sure you lay them away from you because these guys have a tendency to expel a little water after they've been sitting for a few minutes. Just like that. It doesn't take long at all. It's going to smoke and it's going to pop and it's going to fizzle like crazy, but it's okay. Now we're going to go ahead and season the other side. And we're going to roll them over. So start at the top just like before. camera's slipping. Sorry, guys. And you see this water right here? It's because I got these at a grocery store and they've been soaking in this thing of water for a while. So they're not going to have a very pretty color, and they're going to kind of steam a little bit. So you see them like that boiling, just keep an eye on them. And those might be the ones you want to give to your kid or your dog or somebody who's not going to notice they're quite so rubbery. And what I like to do, and some of you guys are probably going to kill me for this, I'm of the opinion you spend $9 a pound on something, you got to make it taste good. So what I like to do is throw a little bit of butter in here. And right before I pull them off, I like to give them a little baste. It gives them a little bit of extra flavor. Kind of helps them finish cooking on the top. Gives them a little bit of color. And then we're going to drain them. So probably can't show you this without turning the camera off and ruining my scallops. So we'll do it this way. Just a paper plate with some paper towel in it. We're going to let those drain for just a second. And get all that fat and oil off of them, water and all that other good stuff. And I'll show you what they look like. So we did have two rubbery ones, like I told you, and of course I had to sample one. That's one of the good things about being the chef. here's what we got. You can see you got a nice brown color on there. You can see we've got just enough seasoning because and we lose some in that hot pan, and they've got a nice semi-firm texture. All right. Don't be scared to cook these. They're not hard. It just takes a little bit of practice. You know, they are $9.99 a pound, but, you know, I bought 6 scallops. It cost me $3 because a pound of scallops is a lot of scallops. It's far better to undercook them a little bit than it is to overcook them, because if they're undercooked, they'll always finish while they're draining if you let them sit for a minute. If you overcook them, you can't even bite into them. They'll bounce. I mean, literally. Anyway, go try this out this week. I'd love to see you guys cook some on your own. Make sure you thumbs up, don't thumbs down. Subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see you Monday when we check in. Take care.